My preacher and my nurse and my psychiatrist might show up during the call.
Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. The Limit is the new super band featuring members of the Stooges, Testors, and Pentagram. And I sat down with the iconic Sonny Vincent and Bobby Liebling to learn all about it.
Do you think I'm unflattering? Your chest shot.
Gentlemen, Sonny, Bobby, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. The album's out now for about a month.
Yeah.
I've read the reactions, but how have you guys experienced the reactions so far?
I love them. I'm shocked, surprised, and very elated.
I hear what you say, Bobby, when you say like I'm shocked, because obviously, you know, when people, and I know that the label super band gets used sometimes maybe a little bit too liberal, but in the case of the Limit, it definitely is a valid term. When these things happen, people tend to look at, okay, who's in the band, and they make an opinion about the music before they hear a single note. Obviously, the music that the Limit makes is different than what people might expect from yourself, Bobby. It's maybe a little bit more aligned with what we've heard from Sonny's, you know, rich past.
It's really what I grew up with. It's not like I don't play doom music. I don't like doom music.
Is it fair to almost describe, you know, the Limit as like it's as much New York Dolls as well as the Killers with some Cock Sparrer and Velvet Underground mixed in there?
It's kind of weird because like we don't really we didn't like get together and say, okay, we're gonna make it 40% punk and 40% heavy, you know. So we just knew what we grew up with, you know. When I didn't even know Bobby's music before we were talking, and Bobby liked my stuff, and we didn't make a lot of plans. We just got together and we just did it. You know, if somebody says it sounds like a cross between Lady Gaga and a blender with crushed nails and glass on it, that's their prerogative. But we didn't, you know, like know what we would sound like. We just know it probably might sound okay.
You're full of empty mail in my heart. Now there's no past or last.
I loved the Ramones, Vibrators, Buzzcocks, you know, the Dickies, all of those bands, the Dead Boys, Dolls, you know. So it's kind of what I grew up with anyway. You know, during the 60s, the bands they call garage bands now were the original punk bands to me.
One of the maybe surprises for me when I listened to the album was it actually is, you know, given the lineup, given the influences that you're already talking about, it's a very modern sounding album. And I was wondering if you've been surprised with, because I've seen some reactions already to the album by people that might, traditionally speaking, not fit in your core demographic, if you will. Is that something that has surprised you as well?
It just happened again organically. We recorded the album in Portugal, and
It grew out of mushrooms.
Yeah,
right?
we recorded it in Portugal, and then the COVID pandemic hit. So we had to do a lot of the like guitar solos and stuff remote. And when we were in Portugal, Bobby was carrying a book around with him, which was like the life story or the autobiography of Michael Shankar, you know. And I go, "What's that, Bobby?" You know. And he was holding it to his chest like it was the Holy Grail Bible.
Yeah, it's the High Stakes and Dangerous Men UFO, you know, biography thing. You know, I'm a UFO fanatic and a Shankar nut. Yeah.
So like when I was you know producing the album and we got home and I was thinking, okay, I can't go back to Portugal and do all the little guitar fills and stuff, and I know Bobby likes, you know, that kind of playing too. So I knew a guy that did a tour with me that plays kind of like that, and so I sent him the recordings and all the tracks, and he sprinkled some Stardust all over it. But if it wasn't,
the hay goes out to Fabian D. Dahmer's. Yes. The icing on the cake. It did make it modern.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for the pandemic, which I'm not happy about, of course, but that would have never happened, you know. So It just kind of developed, you know. We were lucky, you know. Everything that happened for us was lucky. Like you said, supergroup. We never thought of each other. Actually, we kind of think of each other as very under the wire, you know.
Super nuts.
We don't have like castles in Scotland, and you know, when we recorded this album, we had no like flank of roadies and assistants. We just
I'm a super freak.
we had to do it all our own, and behave.
You should hear this
I'm a
story.
super freak. You sure
Yeah,
are.
that's right.
One thing
Wow,
for
bang.
sure. It took a long time for me to get used to this super freak, because when we got together to record the album, we both thought we were the boss of the world, And I'm saying,
For
Bobby,
sure.
I want to do it this way. And he's going, but in Pentagram, we do it that way. And I said, yeah, but try this. And he goes, oh, that's cool. And we finally found our channel, which we are totally fathered in now, because we like it. We
love it,
communicate
yeah.
really well. But at first, we just had to get our channel, and it worked. We were lucky, because like I was trying to say before, a lot of groups get together. Like they take one guy from, King Crimson and one guy from Deep Purple, and they come together, and it sucks, mainly because they don't click together. You would think it might sound great, but it doesn't. And
We clicked.
We were lucky, and we didn't even know each other really. So, I really feel good that it clicked, and I feel like we were lucky, because it could have been just a bunch of crap,
As quiet as a mouse, this house just ain't no home.
I believe that once you guys did eventually get to Portugal, that there were some last minute changes and issues you guys had to deal with, because not everybody was as free of fear of working with you guys.
It's a lot of crap from the past. People don't know what the hell they're talking about when they talk about that shit.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, like
I'm supposed to be some drug-infused weirdo that bounces off walls and rapes people and God knows what else. I mean,
I see what you mean. Like I was talking to Bobby, and we hit it off really good on the phone, and like he heard a bunch of my stuff, and we were laughing, and we got serious, decided to make an album. But I hadn't seen that movie, Last Days Here.
Sure, yeah.
And when I saw it, I was kind of shocked. I was going like, wow, do I need like 3 nurses and 3 bodyguards and like a massage artist and a Reiki master, and what do I need to make this happen in a good way? But the people that saw that movie didn't realize that from when that movie was over, there was a long interim where Bobby was touring with Pentagram and being on time and being responsible. And when we got to Portugal, he handled himself really well.
Yeah, I mean, that movie it came out in 2011. That's 10 years ago. In the 10 years following that is when Pentagram's rise to notoriety,
100%.
so to speak, came.
Yeah, I saw you play after that with Pentagram on Hellfest in France, I think.
There you go.
And what will you miss? And will you again?
The lyrics seem to be very, in a lot of introspection happening with the lyrics, but also a sense of this desperation almost. You mentioned, both of you, that you recorded this, or the bulk of the work was done before the pandemic, and then you had to kind of keep it in the oven for a little bit. With the pandemic, a lot of people, when it comes to desperation, when it comes to anxiety, introspection, a lot of people that never thought they would have to deal with these issues had to deal with these issues because you went through, lockdowns and so on. Do you feel that even though most of this music was written before the pandemic hit, do you feel that a lot more people are relating to it in a different way or much more personal than they would have?
I don't know if it's really that. I think, I've always had that kind of a despair in my lyrics, throughout the history of my writing. And I like stuff that's desperate. I like stuff that's got a lot of futility, because the bottled up, like you were talking about the pandemic, it could have possibly, attributed to some of that within the listeners. With me, it's always been like that. I've always had a need.
He's always been in a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was really surprised, because I knew Bobby could write some good lyrics, but I was very happy that they were. Really happy that the lyrics were, like you said, introspective and like autobiographical, and they weren't just about like, hey, I went to the store and I wasn't chewing gum. They were really his feelings, and that brings a lot of raw nerve to the album.
Yeah, it does. It's
Yeah.
you know, I like that belligerent street feeling. You know, I'm ground level, very real.
Yeah, yeah.
None of that. None of that. I have that here.
That was for your lyrics, Bobby.
Okay.
Cherry on top.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
We'll throw that away. It's an outtake.
No, it's perfect. Whatever you guys want to do. Talking about, you know, lyrics and
Okay, that was the show-off hour by Sonny Vincent.
Oh, I can do more.
when Bobby, clearly the song Caveman Logic was really important for you. Can you help me? Now we're talking about lyrics and stuff. What's the spoken message at the beginning of the song that is, you know, taken through the filter? What is being said?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think Sonny knows either. Who said what? Or you mean the thing that came out? No, she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just some tape runoff. I mean, we had a fantastic co-producer and engineer who did the mixing, Paulo Vieira, and he really knew what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, we were lucky because we had a very cool engineer that we hardly had to talk to.
Yeah.
When we
I don't know what the beginning is. I really don't.
We don't know what was said at the start.
No, I know what the song is about, being stuck in time. Yeah, my little niche. You know what I mean? It's like when I wrote Sub Basement. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing. You know, it's like I don't move forward necessarily with the going pace, and I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I do my thing. You know, I'm not listening to this one and that one and getting influences that break off my cigarette, so I light it small and, you know.
Bobby, you said earlier in this call, I hate doom metal, like, you know, I'm a punk rocker. Nevertheless, on your Pentagram albums, you maybe stick a little bit more to a certain formula.
Yeah, it's heavier. It's heavier in nature and a little more, you know, some more sludge stuff, but not. But doom metal as such, you know, in quotes as they call it now, I can't stand it. It's pretentious. It's plodding. It has no changes, no dynamics. The lead playing stinks. The vocals are usually they sound like the beginning Caveman Logic talking all the way through the song.
My uncle's in a doom band. Don't say that, Bobby.
Damn.
No, he's not.
Sorry, I cut me down.
No worries. But even compared to Pentagram, like, you know, Sonny, you said it before. Like, Bobby and I are both kind of used to being the top dog in whatever we do. Like, we're the main person. Bobby, that is the case for you in Pentagram without a doubt. But do you still feel that now with the limit, you actually have a lot more freedom in doing what you want to do?
I definitely have a lot more freedom. I can just lay it down nitty gritty. You know, it comes out a little bumpy here and there. That's okay. That's because there are bumps in the road. And so it kind of lays out like that. You know what I mean? Working with Sonny, I have a partner in writing now, and that's really great. You know, because I've never had someone, you know, I don't have to worry about the music anymore, predominantly, you know, and I like writing lyrics. I think I write some damn good lyrics, you know, and they're pertinent to my feelings. And hey, I hope everybody likes them.
As the water rises, you can't count your wishes.
There's been a lot of great responses to the album so far. So obviously people want to know if they can, you know, keep their fingers crossed for seeing this music on the road.
They can keep them crossed. I mean, I just had I had the Pentagram tour manager and booking agent call me today because he wasn't aware that my mom had passed away a few months ago, and he called me up, you know, to tell me, you know, condolences and so forth. And then he all of a sudden told me, hey, October is back on for Scandinavia. So you know, things are starting to look up all the way around the board, and hopefully in 22 he's very interested in booking the limit. So we're gonna see what happens, and I'm real hopeful about that, you know.
So given your, I mean, not just the two of you, but everybody involved in the project, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of wealth there from a musical perspective. I wouldn't be surprised to see the limit play, you know, an hour and a half, a 2-hour show, or stuff like that. Is that something that you're open to?
No, we're gonna play.
I don't know about that.
We're gonna play
an hour, yes.
We're gonna play about 15 minutes and then go collect the money. You know, it's like,
That's it. Hit the door, man.
Midnight swimming, ghostly moon, black sea.
Based on how you guys are playing off of each other and the clear chemistry that is there, is it my correct assumption that we might see a second album sooner rather than later?
No. No, of course. We have high hopes, and we're definitely 110% up for doing a second album. You know, I mean, when the time comes, you know, the end of the year, this album plays itself out, so to speak, and so forth. We definitely have a future plan to do at least another Limit album. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We already have material and stuff like that. Let's put it that way. We had a lot of material that we didn't put on the album too. You know?
We're now, like I said, we're about a month since the launch. We've seen single release as well. Reviews have been very good. Is there anything else that the fans should be aware of what might potentially come our way for this project in the shorter term?
at the moment,
Yeah.
Somebody in Holland is making a video, a 10-minute mini documentary of the making of Caveman Logic by The Limit. And although the album, the music part was quite effortless. We just, like I said, did what we do, but everything else, like you mentioned earlier, you read a little bit about it. Everything else was really tough. And when we finally got into the studio, it was like our safe harbor. But
yeah, because that's what we do. That's our comfort zone.
But before we went into the studio, there were personal issues. There were things to get used to. I said it, I think in another interview that,
or 15 of them.
People like the Beatles, they grew up all together. They grew up in Liverpool. They knew the nasty teachers. They knew the nice guy down the neighborhood. They knew all the jokes. They knew all the they were very familiar.
Yep.
We didn't know each other, and it took us a while to get used to each other. I'm a real easygoing guy. I might look like a jerk, but I'm really nice. And I actually threw a fucking chair across the room, and I threw the chair across the room in a fit of anger. And of course, Bobby, right after that, in his deadpan way, said, "I hope we have insurance for that." But yeah, it was it was really tough. It was when I got done, I felt it was like a soul draining, negative, horrible experience. And we did find our way. That's the good part. There was some kind of magic dust sprinkled on us, and we got through the portal that brought us into being fucking hippies and hugging each other all the time. But before that, it really was like Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. Now, a lot of bands that talk about an experience like that, whether they're at the start of their career or much more advanced like you guys, will say that was a terrible experience and I can never listen to that album again. I finished it and I'm moving on. But it sounds like this is actually an album that you guys would play every moment because it's just
the opposite. Yes.
Yeah,
the opposite.
That's the good part. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the good part.
Oh, my shoulder wind makes my blood turn dead.
I did have Paolo do a lot of that backwards masking stuff, so Bobby probably till now didn't know that, but that's probably one of the reasons you like it, because it's a lot of subliminals in the tracks.
Yes, we are from France.
Put on the headphones when you listen to the album. Get that beautiful colored splatter vinyl and put the headphones
sold
on.
out. It's sold out, the splatter.
Well, second pressing when
there
that comes out.
There you go.
Bobby, Sonny, I very much appreciate your time today. I really had a great time talking to you. I appreciate also, Sonny, the impromptu guitar playing. That was great. Thank you.
Bobby didn't say I was showing off. I would have done it more, but now he kind of put a wet
made
towel
him self-conscious.
He would have put a wet towel over my creative juice. That's Sonny's show off, But I was just trying to liven things up, not show off.
There you go. There you go.
He
Well,
He just wanted to show up.
If you want to have
Right?
someone show off, we can get D Dahmers on this thing, and he'll just he'll
He can
just
show off.
burn the pixels on the picture. You know.
Sonny did show up though. That's what matters. You show up.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your time today. I very much appreciate it. I love the album as well. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, buddy.
I can't wait
Thank you,
to see
Jasper.
you guys on the road. I do hope that when you do that, and you will, I know, at one point, that you guys definitely put Toronto here in Canada on the tour so that we can all check it
If they'll
out.
let me in Canada finally. They wouldn't as of 6 years ago, but you know.
Thank you so much for your time, Bobby and Sonny. This was great,
you.
and I wish you all the best with the continued release cycle and the future.
Thank you, Jasper. You were the man, right?
That is my last name, indeed.
Uh-huh. I saw it. Like,
Hey,
that's
it could be
Jasper
worse.
the man.
It could be worse, man. It could be worse.
That's great. That's great.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.